Hello, thank you to my future self who's just handed over to me. I've just popped in today to do a little mini tutorial about how to create little mini zines to put inside your Arty Farty Pod, if you would like to have a go at that. Of course you don't have to. You could simply write a letter and put it in an envelope and just write a sheet of paper and fold it up. If you've got a really small pod, it might help. You can see this is just a little piece of paper. You could write just a few facts on a little piece of paper, fold it up and put it inside your pod. If you want to write a lot and you haven't got much room, then it would be worth getting hold of some of that. I think they call it onion skin paper. We used to buy it pale blue. We used to buy it for sending airmail letters. I don't think that's a thing anymore, but it's very, very thin but strong paper. So you could get something like that. I've got a pad of it somewhere and I can't find it at the moment. You could also try just writing your facts in the form of just brief notes like that, or just a kind of almost bullet pointed list, and roll it up like I have done with this one. I used a knitting needle just to help me roll it up really small, and maybe just put a little piece of masking tape or something on it. Let's do that. Obviously you want it to be something that will come off easily without destroying the paper. So if I just do this just to keep it together, or tie a little piece of cord around it, something like that. There we go. So yeah, you could easily do that, or you could create a fun little mini zine. So you can create one of these. All you need is a normal piece of A4 copy paper. I've got a whole lot of this coloured A4 paper which I thought I might as well use, but yeah, just plain A4 copy paper pinched out the printer would be absolutely fine. I happen to have a lot of patterned paper, things like these kind of things left over from my scrapbooking days, so I'm going to use some of them because might as well make use of them, but you definitely don't have to. I think it would be really fun just to do it in copy paper and draw pictures, colour in, stick magazine pages onto it, decorate it, cut pictures of your favourite clothes and food and things out of magazines and stick those in, whatever you want to do. But I just thought I'll come on today and show you how to do this. There's two different ways you can do it, very simple ways to construct a little mini book. So this one is a meander album, they're called, and it's called meander because you'll see when I come to show you how to fold it. And it comes out with quite a lot of pages. This whole thing was done with just an A4 sheet of paper. That would be like letter paper. If you're in America, it would be letter paper would be the closest. It's very close in size. But you could also do them, we used to do them in the scrapbooking days with 12-inch or 30 centimetre sheets of scrapbooking paper. So it doesn't really matter what size it is, as long as it's square or rectangular, that's fine. I actually have just left this one plain just so you can see what it's like plain, and you can see if you did it in white you could draw and colour in here. If it was the right kind of paper you could paint on it, or as I said just now, just cut out pictures and stick them in, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to show you the basic way to make the book. So to do one of these, the first thing I'm going to do is fold it in half, short end to short end. It's really helpful to have something like this to really press those creases down with. Crease it as nicely as you can. And then we're going to fold in half again. I'm just doing this so that I can feel that I've butted that edge up against the crease. If you've got a scoreboard and things, which I have, I just wanted to show how to make it if you haven't got all those fancy things, but obviously if you have got one, it would be good to use it because you do get neater results. I wanted to do it this way so that you haven't even got to measure or anything. Now if Tom and I have got our asses in gear, there will be printables that will do all this for you, so you can just fold along the lines, but this is how you would do it if you've got nothing. And the printables will include some fun little extras, maybe some prompts on the pages and things like that. Okay, so now I'm going to fold in half the other way. And you can see every time I make a fold, once I'm happy with the fold, I'm pressing it down with my paper folder there. But you could just use the edge of a ruler or back of a teaspoon, your thumbnail, or something, just something smooth to help you reinforce that crease and make it nice and crisp. And you can see I'm taking care to just line everything up, so all of those creases are lining up nicely. Okay, so I'm going to open the whole thing out now, and you can see I've now got this grid of smaller rectangles. If you start with a square sheet of paper, you'll end up with a grid of squares instead. And now I'm going to cut from this edge, from this fold, all the way up to there. I'm going to stop there. Can't decide which shows you better really, but hopefully it will be clear once I've cut it anyway. I'm just going to cut up to there. Turn it round, and this time I'm going to start at this edge and cut up to there, stop there. Turn it again, you can see what's happening there, and this time I'm going back to this edge and stopping there. So you can see it's kind of opening out like that. And now I'm going to start folding, and this is where the name Meander album comes from, because my folds are going to meander all the way up here, down there, round there, up here, down there. So I'm folding up that way, and now back that way, and now up that way. So you just reverse the fold each time, and then when you come to the ends here, you just fold in like that. So you're just going over and under with the folds the whole time. If you go wrong and get confused, don't worry about it, it's not the end of the world. Just unroll it back and start again. You'll get there in the end. But you can see how quick and easy that is. So now we've got this kind of affair. So now I'm going to get my Pritt stick out. I'm going to decide which is my which is going to be my up and which is going to be my down. It doesn't matter unless you want to create some pockets. If you want to create some pockets, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Then you need to make sure that you've got these opening edges upwards. So if I turn it that way round, they're closed here. It's not the end of the world. Whichever way you do it, you'll manage to find some pockets if you want to. Okay, but this one I'm not going to do pockets. What I'm going to do now to turn this into a book that holds together is I'll leave that one open, but I'm going to put glue in here. I only need to put it on one side. Or you could use double-sided tape as well. Just close that up. And I would take the time just to give that a good press down again, make sure everything's really nicely stuck, because you want this to last, don't you? It's a really fun little thing to do with the kids as well. Okay, so the next one opens up this way. So I'm just going to glue that closed. Again, I only need to put the glue on one half. Glued my first page there. This is my next page, and now I've got this one, and this is where if I wanted to I could make a pocket that opens at the top. So if I want to do that, what I need to do is, instead of just applying glue all over both of those, I need to just use some tape or very careful thin application of glue just down one side and the bottom, and put that together, and that will create, leaving the top open, and that will create a little pocket. So you can see on this one I've left that one open to create a pocket, and I've left that one, and that one. So that would be a nice little extra place, and I think this is especially fun if you're doing it with kids, an extra little place to put little tiny notes in, little extra things, perhaps quotes, little tidbits of information about yourself or your favourite colours or whatever it might be. You could even put a little swatch of your favourite colours on there, could you, something like that. Whatever, it's, I think everybody would do something different with this. So the next one, go. And now I've got this one which is open that way, so let's put glue there. You just need to, like, you know, don't be too much of a rush, take your time working through this. Just make sure you don't glue together any bits you didn't mean to. It's only a bit of paper, it's a bit of A4 paper at the end of the day, isn't it? So the next one is going to be here. So I'm going to work my way through the whole thing. It'll just take me a couple more minutes just to glue all of these together. You could have a pocket that comes out frontwards as well, out this edge of the book. I'm going to go through and finish through this book. I'm nearly there now, and I will be back in a mo. That's it, that's my little book, the basis of my book all done, and that will all hold together now. It's got this little spine there, and you could just leave it like that, or you could cover it with another. Did I do a sample? Yeah. So here was my first little prototype, and what I've done with this one is just cover it with a small strip of another sheet of A4 paper, and then cut a small piece here just to tidy up where I've folded the ends in. You know, I could just do something else. I could just write and draw pictures and things all the way through and make my own little illustrated kind of little mini storybook all about me and the things I love and the people I love and the places I love. But you can also, of course, cover it and make it more interesting by adding some pattern paper. And it doesn't need to be this fancy scrapbooking pattern paper either. It could be gift wrap, would work really well, or patterns that you've cut out of magazines and things, you know. In fact, actually that'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Find something that's got dates on it, or old sheet music or something like that. Just whatever you like to cover your little book with. I want to put this cover on. I quite like that side too. Right, more glue, and I'm just going to put glue all over one of my covers. It doesn't really matter which one I do first. But this is the opening edge of my book, and this is the spine. So I'm just going to put it down this way, and I'm leaving enough for a little overlap so I can turn the ends in a minute. I'm just going to fold the paper around this spine, and I'm just going to use this to help me get a nice crease. Again, you could just use you know, a ruler or something to help you do this instead. And now I'm going to wrap it around there. And I'm going to cut it with, again, enough for an overlap. More glue. I'm not going to put glue on the spine, I'm going to leave that so it's just got a little bit of movement. Set down. If I wasn't trying to do this quickly for a tutorial, I would probably now just leave this for a little while. I've just put something heavy on it to make sure it's properly stayed glued. Now I'm going to trim this off. And I'm going to cut across the corners, and now I'm going to fold those edges in. Use my paper folder again to get a nice crease on it. Obviously I've got to allow for the spine here, so I'm just going to cut in to there. To where that little spine starts. It's about it's come out about 1/2 centimetre thick, maybe not quite that much. Same at this end. Comes the glue again. Now, of course, if you are taking this whole time capsule thing really seriously and you want to make sure whatever you write stands the test of time, then strictly speaking you should use acid-free paper and acid-free glue. You can get hold of those things pretty easily these days. And you should also consider using an archival quality pen as well to write with. I'm not going to worry about it. This is all just a bit of fun for me and I'm not overly bothered, but it's worth bearing in mind. I mean, yes, you can get hold of all these acid-free things, and undoubtedly it will stand the test of time better. But having said that, you know, I've got precious pieces of written material from my granny and things, you know, that weren't, you know, that were written on any old paper with any old pen and kept in a shoebox. So, and I've still got them. So, you know, as I say, depends on how seriously you want to take it, really. Let's give these a really good press down. As I said just now, at this stage, what I would do ideally is put this under a weight to make sure it's all nice and stuck. Can trim that off now where the spine is. There we go. And we've got our cute little mini book. How cute is that? I can also put some paper on the inside to tidy all this up, so let's just do that a minute. And again, if I wasn't trying to do this quickly for the camera, I would get my guillotine out. When I come to do my proper one, whatever I decide to do for my Arty Farty Pod or pods, I will use my guillotine and my scoreboard and to do the best job I can of it. So I'm going to use the reverse of the paper this time. Go. And that will just keep that all nice and tidy. And if I wanted to do as I've done here and have a ribbon closure, I would stick that on. I'd use this strong tape or some strong glue. Oops, sorry. to stick a piece of ribbon in there first. I'm not going to worry about it with this one because this is such a tiny book. I might put a ponytail around it or something like that. One of the ponytails that I use all the time. Be a nice little touch, wouldn't it? You can see I'm not being the least bit fussy about measuring and things here. You really don't need to. Yeah, I would say if you're doing something like this with kids, you know, get some magazines out or gift wrap or whatever, and let them have a play. You know, well, I've got a smutty fingerprint on there. Don't matter. Okay, so that's that one. The plain and the covered versions. This is the other kind, and on this one I've done this sort of ribbon closure. I've covered it in exactly the same way I just showed you. I've got a lot of these little letters, like these sort of things, again left over from scrapbooking days, so I've used them here because may as well use them. And I put This Is Me inside. I've done it in the same way, just covered it with the reverse of the paper, and I started mapping out what I might put on each page, and I enclosed my ribbon inside before I put that last cover sheet on. So it just wraps up like that. Now this is not the Meander album, this is a different type of fold, so I'll quickly show you that. Let's do that with this pink. So starting again by folding the paper in half lengthwise. Hopefully by the time this video goes out we'll have the printables ready, but if not they'll be in the pipeline. It's been a lot of work getting everything done for this. But if not, I just wanted to show you can just do this with a normal piece of printer paper. If we do the printables, we will probably have a few different versions with or without a title page and some prompts printed in there, and just the lines to guide you where to fold and where to cut. So that's it, that's all of the folding at this stage. Hopefully you can see that. And now I'm going to make a cut from this point where these lines cross to this point. Okay, so I'm just going to cut from that point to this point. Trying to go as accurately as I can. Okay, so that's just opened up like that. I've just taken it, folded it in half again lengthwise like that, and now if you just open up, there's the little slit where I cut, just open that up like that and bring it together. Can you see? That gives you the basic book shape. Easy peasy. Again, you could just tape or glue here and leave the top of this one and this one open to create a pocket, or you could create pockets that come out the front, or just glue them all together. So again, I just need to do the one side each time. I've just remembered it's actually easier to do the middle gluing bit first. You know, the part where the slit is that we cut. So I'm not leaving any pockets this time, I'm just gluing them all together. Or you can just leave it unglued, just leave it so, yeah, so it's just folded, it's fine. Oh, I love the smell of Crit Stick. Oh, I need to write that down as one of my favourite smells. Just make sure the edges are all lining up nicely. Give it a good press with this. I would say either use a dry thing like a glue stick or double-sided tape. I would avoid wet glue unless you've got a bit stronger paper than this. If you're doing it with copy paper or something, it won't stand up to wet glue very well. So glue stick does the trick, and you can get acid-free glue sticks. I don't think Crit Stick is it? Let's have a look. Solvent-free. No, it doesn't say anything about acid-free. It would if it was. But yeah, you definitely can get acid-free glue sticks and acid-free paper really easily these days, if that's important to you. Okay, so that is my second book. That is how quick and easy it is to do. Now with this one, what I did was I made 2 of these little books. I left them in 2 colours so that you can see, and I glued them together to give me more pages. And I actually glued them together just with a line of tape down each side in there, so as to leave a pocket. So, and this is again from scrapbooking paper, so I can put a little secret extra bit in there. Those are several different options for different ways to create little books to tell your story. Hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching.